Hello, wonderhussie here. Back from the dead. Well, sort of. You can probably hear from my voice that I only have 1 foot out of the grave, but it's a foot, and I'm pretty excited about it. This is the first time I've left the property, the compound, since, gosh, I don't even know, December 26th. I'm shooting this on January 2nd, so that's, what? Almost 5 days, which for somebody who loves being outdoors in the fresh air and the beautiful sunshine feels like an eternity. And why, you may be wondering, did I not leave the compound for 5 days? Well, that's because I had the dang, well, what I call Cocoa Puffs, because the good folks over at Google don't like you talking about the disease I had and still have on YouTube because they're afraid that you'll spread disinformation, which I just learned is different from misinformation. Disinformation is maliciously spread with the intent to misinform. Anyway, you all know what I'm talking about, what I have, because, somebody told me what was going on in the comments, and over at, I have a Facebook fan group where apparently people were doubtful that I really had Cocoa Puffs. You know, there's some folks out there who thought she didn't have Cocoa Puffs, she just had a regular good old-fashioned case of the Lucky Charms. Well, I'm here to tell you, in fact, I'm here to show you, I did. Look, we've all seen these stupid things, am I right? I can't tell you how many of these tests I've taken since 2020, and every time I took one, no matter how sick I felt, you know, after Burning Man, both times I got sick as a dog, they always came out negative. So imagine my shock and disappointment when on the afternoon of the 27th, I took one of these bad boys and that second pink line turned up, which meant it was positive. Oh, I was devastated. Not only because it instantly made me feel sicker than I already felt, but also because we had the most fun New Year's Eve plans ever. My sister and me and my boozer friend Scott and some of our good friends from Vegas, we're all going to go stay at the Long Street Casino. Okay, if you've ever been to the Long Street Casino, or you remember my video that I made about it, it's this really weird casino, way out in the middle of nowhere, out yonder about 45 miles on the California-Nevada state line. Weird place full of mannequins and oddities. There's a meteorite, there's antique slot machines, all kinds of weird mining antiques. There's a cat, apparently, that lives in the casino named Jackpot. I just found out about this. I didn't know about this when I made the video, but there's a cat that roams freely around the casino, and apparently it'll just walk right along the bar when you're trying to play video poker. And sometimes that little cat will step right on the max bet button. So say you're there cooling your heels, you know, having a beer, trying to milk a $5 bill as long as you can. And along comes this little cat named Jackpot, steps on the max bet. Next thing you know, boop, all your money's gone. So apparently they had to tweak the settings on all the video poker machines on the bar so that that wouldn't happen. Anyway, all of that is going on about 45 miles north of here. And that's where I should have been myself the other night if it hadn't been for these darn meddling Cocoa Puffs. And at first, when I got my results, I thought, oh dear, this can't be. Oh, I'm healthy as a horse, hale and hearty as a horse. I take all these vitamins, I take all these supplements. I've never had this in 4 years, and I've gone all over the place. I've been to Burning Man twice, and I've never gotten Cocoa Puffs. This must be a bum test. But I didn't want to be a jerk, and I did start to feel pretty dang sick. But, you know, I thought, okay, I'll do whatever I can. Maybe it was a bum test. What I'll do is I'll rest up, I'll take a bunch of vitamins, I'll eat real healthy, I'll get lots of sleep, I'll stay in bed, and then hopefully, just hopefully, the afternoon of New Year's Eve, I'll take another test, it'll come out negative, and I'll be able to go join my friends. And I'll be honest, I even thought, well, even if it doesn't come out negative, I'll just wear a mask. I'll still go. I'm not missing out on this dang party. That's right. I was going to do something very inconsiderate and go out germy and just wear these masks, which, as everybody knows by now, don't do a dang thing. I have one in my pocket here. You know what I mean. These little surgical masks. I'm no biologist or virologist or scientist of any kind, but apparently viral particles can pass right through these things. I don't know. Anyway, I'm glad I didn't go, but it was one of the hardest things I ever did was, my sister was very kind. She offered to stay home. I go, no, you go. You go have fun. And the worst part of all was on New Year's Eve, my voice totally disappeared. I'm not really sure what happened. My tonsils swelled up and I couldn't talk at all. I could hardly even whisper. In fact, I couldn't even whisper. For someone who likes to talk as much as me, it was no fun at all. So I told my sister, no, you go. Have fun without me. They were trying to convince me, maybe Scott was trying to convince me, maybe just go, stay in the room all night, just sleep. And we'll come up and down, we'll go to the casino, and then we'll come up and have a glass of champagne. No, I'm just going to stay home. So my sister, though, being the class act she said, okay, I'll go just for a few hours. I'll have some drinks, and then I'll sober up, and then I'll just drive back. And so she did. Oh, my gosh. She stayed until like 2 o'clock in the morning because she is not the type of person to drive until she is stone cold sober. Say what you will about my sister. 2 things about my sis. She won't leave a campfire until it is dead out. And she won't drive anywhere until she is dead sober. So she didn't get home until like 2 in the morning. But she made it. And then the next morning, it was a beautiful sunny New Year's Day out here in Death Valley, USA. And all my friends came from the long street and they came over to the house, and my sister and them all had mimosas on the front patio. And I came crawling out of my sick bed in my bathrobe and my mask. And I sat there and watched them. And they poured me a glass of orange juice. So I toasted them, but oh my gosh, it was the worst New Year's Eve I've ever had. Anyway, I'm rambling. You're probably wondering, why did I drag myself out of my sick bed to hike way up here to the top of these hills that I've been walking along? Well, it's because I basically feel better. Obviously, I have my voice back, mostly. I don't have swollen tonsils anymore, really. Just a little bit of sniffles. I feel pretty good. So good, in fact, I thought I would take another Cocoa Puffs test this morning and see if I was okay to go back out into civilization. Guess what? I still can't go back out into civilization. Still got the dang Cocoa Puffs. But the good news is I felt good enough to get out of the house, put on a little makeup. I probably look like a skeleton. You know what? I probably look like one of those Mexican Day of the Dead, what do they call those? Candy skulls. Oh, go easy on me. Anyway, I thought, let me just drag myself out of bed and hike all the way up here. And the compound is way over yonder. So I had to hike up these mountains. And I thought for a minute, oh gosh, will I be able to do it? I'm so tired from these Cocoa Puffs. But you know what? I think sometimes if you just push yourself a little bit, and I'm not saying this applies to everybody, you should definitely not push it too much, especially when it comes to Cocoa Puffs. As I've come to find out, I mean, I know a lot of you out there poo-poo the very notion that this is anything terrible enough to have caused all of the uproar, the economic uproar that we had. I'm here to tell you, I didn't really think so either. But this is gnarly, man. This really knocked me on my you-know-what. I thought I had a mild case initially. This is what I said in my last video. Part of that was me trying to will it to be a mild case because I really wanted to go to that New Year's party. It was not mild. This was by far the gnarliest flu I've ever had. So I'm not recommending anybody go out there and go to one of those Cocoa Puffs parties and try to get it. But anyway, why did I decide to hike way up here? Why didn't I hike way out into the desert and save myself a strenuous climb up a mountain? Or why didn't I just hike to the hot spring and go for a relaxing soak? Or why didn't I just take a walk down the road or something less strenuous than hiking up these hills? Well, I do like to test myself, and I'm pleased to report my body and lungs and heart performed just fine. I didn't really huff and puff any more than I normally do coming up here. So part of it was just I wanted to test myself. Part of it, I knew it would improve my spirits vastly to just get outside in the fresh air and sunshine and get a little bit of a workout. Because I was getting pretty freaking depressed sitting in my bed. Okay, you know me. I'm not one to sit around in one place for more than about 3 hours. Well, I've been in my bed for 5 days. Oh, I watched a movie. I never watch movies. I watched a movie. I read a book. I actually sat and read a book. I did things I never do, including sleep for about 20 hours a day. it was time for me to get out of the house. And this spot where I'm standing right now is actually the only spot I felt would be appropriate on this, the second day of a brand new year. Where am I standing, you might ask? That's so special. Well, you might notice there's a rock cairn there, and there's a rock cairn there, and there's a rock cairn there, a real big one, and then there's 2 more rock cairns there. I'm not sure why there's 5, but what I'm standing in the middle of is a compass. That's right, I'm standing right in the middle of a compass. Let me just back off and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Some enterprising hippie or hippies came all the way up here to the top of this mountain and built a rock compass, and I'm pretty sure it's accurately oriented. I just checked on my phone compass and it looked like it was accurate to me. That's north, that's west, that's south, and that's east. So north is pointing, well, it's kind of pointing towards Pahrump. Although I suppose if you continued on north past Pahrump, you would eventually get to the Long Street Casino. Pardon me, I'm still a little bit salty about that. Anyway, there's west pointing that way where that cairn is. That goes to Death Valley National Park, about 10 miles from here. In fact, you can see it from here. I guarantee we can see 10 miles. That's the boundary of Death Valley National Park. And then over here, this way points to the south, which is, oh gosh, I don't know, Joshua Tree, the Salton Sea, Baja, California, all kinds of wonderful places to be at this time of year. And then over there is east, and that pretty much points right smack directly towards Las Vegas, which is definitely not a good time of place to be this time of year because A, they're probably still mopping up all the puke from New Year's Eve, and B, the Consumer Electronics Show, I think, started today, and if you've ever been to that, well, you know it's nothing anyone with any common sense would want anything to do with. So anyway, I just thought it would be cool to come up here to this rock compass on this, well, I'm going to call it New Year's Day because I was too sick to go out and about on the real New Year's Day. So it'd be a good place to come and maybe sort of try to find my bearings. You know, I've been feeling more than a little lost lately. In fact, I've been feeling more than a little lost pretty much my whole life. I just remember as a kid, I never knew what I wanted to be when I grew up, to the point where I even got like stomach aches about it. You know, it was like a ticking clock. The more higher I went through school and approaching high school, it was like, oh, I'm going to figure out what I want to do. Oh, I have to figure out what I want to do. Ha! Well, then I graduated and I still didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I went to college and I still didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I graduated and I still didn't know what I wanted to do, which is how I ended up in Las Vegas for 21 years. You might say I've always felt a bit rudderless, a bit directionless. So I thought maybe if I come to this compass, oh mighty compass of Mother Earth, will you please give me some direction? Maybe if I just stand in the middle of this compass and spin around and around and around, and then I stop when I feel the feeling is right. Well, whatever direction I'm facing, that'll be the direction I'm meant to go. Oh, look, a bird. Is it an eagle? Oh gosh, I hope it's an eagle. Why do I want it to be an eagle so badly? Well, it's not because I'm feeling extra patriotic. It's because I'm thinking of the lyrics to that song, Salisbury Hill. Unfortunately, I can't sing because my voice is all messed up, but you know that song? Climbing up on Salisbury Hill, I could see the city lights. Wind was whispering, time stood still. Eagle flew out of the night. He was something to observe. Came in close, I heard a voice, standing, stretching every nerve. I had to listen, I had no choice. I could not believe the information. My heart going boom, boom, boom. Son, he said, grab your things, I've come to take you home. Okay, I told you I can't sing because my voice is messed up. But you know that song, Peter Gabriel. Apparently the reason he wrote it is he was feeling a lot of conflict about leaving Genesis. Remember, he used to be the lead singer of Genesis, but he wanted to go out and start his own solo career. And so he was feeling a lot of conflict. Should I leave the safety of this band where I've already found success and strike out on my own? So he wrote this song about climbing up on a hill. outside town. And then this eagle flies in from the night and tells him to grab his things. He's come to take him home. And if you listen to the whole song over the 3 verses, by the end of it, first the eagle goes, grab your things, I've come to take you home. Well, by the last verse, Peter Gabriel goes, you can keep my things, they've come to take me home. Well, I've been waiting for a goddamn motherfucking eagle to fly out of the night and take me home for a long time. It just never seems to happen. Hello? Eagle? Huh, he flew away. Dang it! Okay, so the eagle hasn't landed. Maybe, what about a UFO? Even a UFO could come beam me up and take me home. Please, I'm still trying to find a home all these years later. It's like I said once a couple years ago in a video, home is a place some never find. But maybe if I stand in the middle of this compass and spin around and around and around for, 7 seconds, whichever direction I stop will be the direction I meant to go to find my home. Let's try it. Okay, 7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh. Golly. I stopped facing east, which is Vegas. Could this stone compass be telling me that my home is in Vegas? Death Valley is fine, but it ain't home. Vegas is home, but it ain't mine no more. Oh, I wish I could sing. All right, I think that just happened because I turned in 7 full rotations, and that happened to be where my camera was. I don't think this mysterious stone compass, placed here by these industrious hippies so many moons ago, could possibly be telling me I should move back to Vegas. But I do have to go back to Vegas for some doctor's appointments coming up soon, so maybe that's what it meant. Or maybe it just didn't mean anything at all. Maybe it was all just an excuse for me to get out of my bed, get a little fresh air and exercise, and stop feeling sorry for myself. Because that's what's been going on. Boo-hoo, I couldn't go to the Long Street Casino. Boo-hoo, I couldn't drink mimosas on New Year's Day. Boo-hoo, I can't sing and make the eardrums of everyone watching YouTube bleed. Poor me. Meanwhile, those people who were stuck on ventilators or who even died of Cocoa Puffs, I'm well enough on day 5 to be traipsing around the hills like a demented desert version of Maria Von Trapp. Thank you, oh wise creosote bush, for reminding me of my folly. Oh, and look what's behind wise creosote bush. It's a beautiful desert wildflower. Look at that. The very beginning of January, a beautiful yellow wildflower. And there's a whole bunch of them. Look at that behind me. The hill is alive with crazy winter wildflowers. Even in the depths of winter, you can always find some little bright splash of color. Wow, I could actually smell it. At least I didn't lose my sense of smell. See that, everybody? There's always hope. Spring is just around the corner. And before you know it, the whole side of this hill is going to be covered in, well, fried, wilted flowers that have been seared by the unforgiving baking desert sun. Because if it's already this nice in January, whoo-wee, it's going to be a hot summer. So we'd better enjoy these wildflowers and this wintry season while we can. As for me, I think I'd better go spend the rest of this wintry afternoon in bed. I've pushed myself enough for the day. I got my fresh air, I got my sunshine, I got my exercise, and I don't want to push myself too far because it's only January 2nd. I have 363 more days in 2024, and I want to use them to explore all 4 points of this compass.